Hi everybody, I'm Todd and I hope you're having a great week. You know, Austrian Audio has been making a good name for themselves in the recording industry, and I've wanted to check out some of their headphones for a long time, so today I'm going to take a look at the X15s. Now the X15 are an affordable option as the entry point into Austrian Audio's headphones. Now of course they've released a number of microphones that are great sounding and have been well received by the recording community over the last couple of years, so my expectations for their headphone line are pretty high and I really wanted to check them out. So go ahead and throw on some headphones and let's do some audio tests. Now looking at the logarithmic frequency analysis, we can see low frequencies are somewhat underrepresented here, but they are present. What really stands out is the bumps at around 5 and 10K. The linear analysis gives us more detail there, as well as shows a few dips, so we'll have to listen for that when we get to music and vocals. Now, when I'm listening back to music on these headphones, I definitely find they have a pretty bright high end here, and that 10K bump and also the 5K bump, those are pretty sensitive on our ears. And so what happens for me anyways is it's almost like there's a high whistling above the music when I'm listening to this. It's can be pretty fatiguing after a while. Many users complain about this with, say, DT770s, that type of sound. Well, this is definitely there. It has that as well. Now, the low end was quite pleasing, actually. It's there. It's not overstated, but it doesn't seem to be overly recessed either. Of course, when we look at the logarithmic analysis, we can see that low end, the slight roll off. Definitely bumps are there in that 5 and 10K range. And when we go over to the linear analysis, there definitely are some dips and peaks throughout the higher frequencies. So these headphones definitely have a sound profile. Now, when we look at the side-by-side comparison, we can definitely see here that there are some underrepresented frequencies kind of in the mids, but definitely the bumps in around 5 and 10K are there, a few dips. It would look like a fairly faithful reproduction here, but it's just those overpowering frequencies, again, that 5 and 10K, that really make these headphones sound quite a bit more brittle than the rest of the graph would make you think. Looking at the linear analysis, of course, again, just some more detail there, but it really calls to emphasis just how many frequencies are boosted in these headphones. Now, as usual, I've loaded up iZotope's audio lens so we can compare the recording that I made through the headphones against the original file. So we've loaded up the reference for the original file in the purple region. The white dynamic line will, of course, be the playback you're listening to from the recording through the headphones. We want to look for is any differences here, in particular in that high end, but also to see if the low end comes across fairly equivalent to the original reference.
What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so? What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so?
You show me beauty in life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you, oh yeah. You show me beauty in life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you, oh yeah.
Now, it's often I listen to headphones where I can perceive a fair amount of coloration in the music, but when I listen to vocals, particularly male vocal, there isn't a whole lot of difference. This is an exception. The male vocal here definitely sounds bright and sibilant to my ears. When I look at the logarithmic analysis, I can see clearly those bumps at 5 and 10K, and they really are creating that sibilant, almost whistle-like sound that I talked about. Linear analysis, again, just a little more detail here. And when we look at the female vocal, we're really getting a lot brighter representation than we would normally like to get, I think, at least for my use cases. So something to be aware of here. These headphones do overemphasize the bright end, and again, can make things sound a lot more sibilant than they really are. And this is a sample of spoken words, so we can compare the sound of the recording directly versus the sound through the headphones. And this is a sample of spoken words, so we can compare the sound of the recording directly versus the sound through the headphones. Now for spoken word again here, I could really tell the difference. There's a significant boost in that 5 and 10K range, which is creating sibilance that isn't there in the original recording. And it just sounds very, very bright and crispy, almost brittle again in the top end here. Now you could EQ those frequencies back a little bit, but just something really to be aware. These headphones want to push those frequencies, and to my ears, not in a pleasing way. Now for gaming applications, we want to hear clearly what's going on around us, and we want to have a expansive environment, yet we want it to feel immersive. So let's check out some game audio. I spent quite a bit of time testing these headphones with a variety of games, and I have to say they did bring forward the detail that I needed to hear everything around me in the environment, and the environment itself seemed quite spacious yet immersive, so that's a good combination actually for gaming here. In a closed-back headphone, certainly they perform very well in creating that sort of open-sounding environment. Negative for me was they were fatiguing after a while. Again, those high frequencies really started to get to my ears, could EQ them back, so overall these could work for gaming, just depends what you're looking for. Now, having spent quite a bit of time listening to these headphones, I have to say that Austrian Audio has put quite a bit of engineering into the soundstage and imaging on these headphones. As I mentioned earlier in the game audio portion, the environment felt quite expansive yet immersive. Well, with music, it's the same thing. There's space for the instruments in the mix. Music doesn't sound fully confined to within your head, so that was really good to see. And I found their imaging performance very good as well. They certainly could be used for mixing from that point of view. So well done, Soundstage and Imaging. Now we'll take a look at the build quality of these headphones. First of all, I have to say they're quite well made for this price point. They've got a nice amount of swivel and pivoting on the ear cups. Fit is not going to be an issue here. Good extension on both sides as well. This is a metal band, stepped really well here. And this is also metal where the ear cup is attached. So very well made, some good padding here. Nice and soft. It's a memory foam material. And of course we have like a pleather on this. I will say though, they're very warm to wear for a period of time. So just something you need to know about. Cable is detachable here. It's a 2.5 millimeter locking cable. So good they can be replaced. It's a very short cable. It's a 1.4 meters, so not particularly long, but it's a nice quality cable. It's quite soft to the touch. 3.5 millimeter jack on the end. Comes with an adapter to get you to 1/4 inch if that's what you're looking for. And also comes with a soft carry pouch. So not a whole lot, here it's a pretty basic set for the price, but what we're looking for is sound and some durability. Definitely durability is here on the build. Now, I won't spend a lot of time on features and specifications. As always, there'll be links in the description below, but a few things to know here. These are a 25 ohm impedance headphone with a sensitivity of 113 dB per volt, so they're going to get plenty loud no matter what you hook them up to. 44mm drivers are kind of a nice balance between, oversized, say 50-inch models and some of the undersized 30s. They give you some good bass performance here without being really heavy to wear. Ear pads are very comfortable on these headphones. They're pleather with memory foam, but they do get warm. And overall specifications line up where I think they should in a headphone in this price range. Now that we've gone through the audio tests and taken a look at these headphones, I'll give you my final thoughts. First of all, as an entry point into Austrian Audio's headphone line, they're very well built, they're solid. Nothing makes me think they're not going to hold up our last here. They perform quite well in game audio, certainly a spacious environment. Soundstage imaging was quite good here. But I couldn't get away from the overboosted frequencies in that 5 and 10K range, and I could hear some of the troughs surrounding them. Bass roll-off wasn't over-exaggerated here, so I find these could be good for a lot of genres unless you really want booming, powerful bass, but for most things, they're going to do a really good job. It's certainly not underemphasized. Isolation is decent in performance here as well. Certainly not going to be an issue unless you're in the loudest environment. So those are all positives, but for me personally, again, the overboosted frequencies just were too fatiguing to listen to for a period of time. So for me, they're a no, but again, hearing is subjective. You may find them to be just right. And if you want to take a look at a few other headphone options, check out one of the videos on the screen. As always, I do really appreciate you joining me today. It's been great being here with you. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.